The moment she said it, she expected destruction. "I slept with him. What are you going to do about it?" She leaned against the kitchen island like it was a stage, the granite we'd chosen together, the bottle of my 18-year-old Macallan in her hand, not as a drink, but as a prop, a weapon. She snorted after the confession, a short, derisive sound, eyes locked on mine, waiting for the explosion. It never came. For 7 years, I knew every version of Sarah, the tired sighs, the fake smiles, the way she weaponized therapy language when she wanted control. But this face, this cold, giddy defiance, was new, and strangely, it brought clarity. My heart didn't race, it didn't break, it went quiet. "I see," I said calmly. She laughed. "That's it? I just told you I slept with another man, Mark from my spin class." The name barely registered. All I could see was the last 6 months snapping into place. The late nights I worked, not for ambition, but for the house fund spreadsheet taped to our fridge. Her dream, porch, big yard, double oven. Every hour I stayed late was a brick in a future she was already burning down. 2 weeks earlier, I'd found the receipt, $300 at a downtown hotel bar. When I asked about it, she turned it into an accusation. "You're suffocating me." That word had become her shield. I apologized, like an idiot. Tonight, my trip had been canceled. I came home early thinking I'd surprise her. The house was dark. Her car was there. On the entry table sat a matchbook from that same hotel bar. Not hidden, placed. So I waited. She came in after 2, jumped when she saw me, tried to redirect, tried to fight, tried to blame. Finally, when cornered by a simple question, she decided to go for the kill. She wanted devastation. What she got was relief. When she finished, when the silence stretched too long for her comfort, I smiled, not smug, not cruel, grateful. "Thank you," I said. Her expression cracked. I walked to my office and returned with a black folder, divorce papers, prepared weeks earlier. I set them on the island between us. Then I played the recording. Her own voice filled the kitchen, clear, confident, cruel. "I slept with him. What are you going to do about it?" The color drained from her face. I explained nothing. I didn't need to. The prenup, the single-party consent law, the notarized signature, the locksmith scheduled for the morning, all done, all decided. While she was busy feeling powerful, I'd been preparing to be free. She tried to argue, then she tried to cry, then she tried to bargain. I picked up my duffel bag, the one I'd packed hours earlier, and walked out. The door closed behind me with a sound so soft it felt ceremonial. The next days were quiet. Her messages followed a predictable arc: denial, anger, legal threats, panic, apologies, love bombing. Nothing landed. I filtered everything through my lawyer and blocked the rest. Her fantasy man disappeared the moment reality showed up. Her friends faded, her narrative collapsed under its own contradictions. Months later, she ambushed me in my condo lobby, smaller, tired, stripped of defiance. She begged, she cried, she said it meant nothing. She said I was her real life. I told her the truth. "You didn't confess to be honest. You confessed to hurt me. When I didn't break, you panicked." She asked if I ever loved her. "I loved who I thought you were, and when you showed me who you actually are, I believed you." That was the end. A week later, the settlement was signed. No drama, no victory lap, just finality. I was sitting at a cafe when my lawyer emailed, "It's done." Across from me was a woman talking excitedly about her photography exhibition. Present, real, no games. I put my phone face down and listened. That's the thing no one tells you about betrayal. The real win isn't revenge. It's silence. It's peace. It's realizing the moment they tried to destroy you, they actually set you free.
By the time the paperwork was finalized, the noise around her had collapsed. No dramatic courtroom showdown, no screaming phone calls, just signatures, timestamps, and silence. The kind of silence that only arrives when manipulation finally runs out of oxygen. The settlement was simple, clean, exactly what the prenup promised. She kept what she brought in, I kept what I built. The house sold within a week. I moved into a smaller place closer to work. Fewer rooms, fewer echoes, more peace. She didn't handle the quiet well. The first month after everything ended, she tried to rewrite history. Mutual friends got the misunderstanding version, the he overreacted edit, the we were both unhappy remix. But stories fall apart when facts don't cooperate. Too many people had heard too many different versions. Eventually, the questions stopped being about me and started being about her. That's when the loneliness set in. She reached out again, this time softer. No accusations, no drama, just a carefully worded message about growth and self-reflection. She said therapy was helping. She said she finally understood why she needed validation from chaos. She asked if we could meet for coffee. Closure, she called it. I declined. Not out of anger, out of clarity. Closure isn't a conversation you owe someone, it's a decision you make alone. A week later, she showed up where she knew I'd be. Saturday morning, the gym. She stood near the entrance pretending to stretch, glancing at the door every time it opened. When our eyes met, she smiled like nothing had ever burned between us. I didn't stop walking. That moment broke something in her. I could see it. Not rage, not sadness, disbelief. She had spent years believing that if she pulled hard enough, I would always come back, that love meant endurance, that devotion meant tolerating damage. What she never considered was the possibility that I might simply leave. People think power looks loud, like shouting, like dominance, like winning arguments. It doesn't. Real power is watching someone realize they no longer have access to you. After that, her attempts became indirect, mutual acquaintances, accidental run-ins, liking old photos at 2 a.m., each move smaller than the last, each one ignored. Eventually, even that stopped. Life, it turns out, doesn't wait for people who live on tests and traps. It moves on without ceremony. Mine certainly did. Work got better. Without emotional whiplash, I focused. I slept. I trained consistently. I laughed more. I stopped second-guessing normal boundaries like they were acts of cruelty. I dated. Slowly. Carefully. No fireworks, no trauma bonding, just conversations that didn't feel like negotiations. There was one woman in particular, calm, observant. She listened without waiting for her turn to speak. When I told her about my past, she didn't ask what I'd done wrong. She asked what I'd learned. That question alone told me everything. Months later, I ran into her mother at a grocery store. We froze in the produce aisle like two people who knew exactly what memory they shared, but refused to name it. She broke the silence. "I'm sorry," she said quietly, "about all of it." I nodded. "I hope she's okay." "She's learning," her mother replied. "This was hard for her." "It was necessary," I said. She hesitated. "She knows she messed up. The testing, the pushing. She thought love was something you had to provoke." "I know, but love doesn't survive threats." We parted politely. No bitterness, no nostalgia, just acceptance. That was the last time I heard her name spoken aloud. Here's the truth people don't like admitting. When someone threatens to leave you as a tactic, they've already left emotionally. They're just waiting to see how much you'll beg them to stay. And the moment you refuse to perform, the game collapses. She expected tears. I gave her logistics. She expected chaos. I gave her confirmation. She expected a fight. I gave her agreement. That wasn't cruelty. That was self-respect arriving late,
but arriving fully formed. If you take anything from this story, let it be this. Someone who loves you doesn't test your fear of losing them. Someone who respects you doesn't use abandonment as leverage. And someone who belongs in your future won't gamble with your present. The day she tried to break me was the day she freed me. My only regret? Not packing her boxes sooner.